Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Calamity here to bring you another episode of the Anything Goes podcast. You guys might see a little change in the background. I got a new desk, so I had to rearrange it a little bit. Um, so yeah, that's actually my old desk, what I was on before this one. So it's a good change. I like it. We got a lot of news to talk about this week. We have some NFL, some MLB, NBA, some NHL drama, a lot of entertainment to talk about, including a lot of MCU stuff that was just, I don't want to say released, but kind of talked about the last few days. We have some Call of Duty news to talk about as well. No major tournament or anything, just some news. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to start with NFL like we usually do. And we have the Panthers pick up the fifth-year option on Sam Darnold. So he looks like he will be their starting quarterback. They did trade for him, so you'd hope he is their starting quarterback. But it is also Sam Darnold, so you never know. Then we have the Ravens officially pick up Lamar Jackson's fifth-year option. No surprise there. We have some Aaron Rodgers drama. Him retiring is a serious consideration unless his situation with Green Bay is repaired to his liking, which one of the things that he would like to be fixed or changed would be, it says he is adamant that he won't return to the Packers if Brian Gutekunst, I think is his last name, I can't say it, remains as the GM. So basically he wants the GM fired. Is essentially what I'm getting from those two things. So it's a weird, kind of a weird scenario. I know he said he's wanted to, or he will accept a trade or whatever. He would prefer to be traded to the Broncos. They're a team that has apparently come up. Apparently he likes Denver a little bit. He might like their weapons on offense. Their defense is pretty good usually. I know a couple players are getting a little bit older on the defense, but Von Miller being one of them. But they're still doing a good job on defense, so that could be his reason why. I don't know. I think I also heard that he would like to give Patrick Mahomes the wild card instead of having an easy route through his division. We'll see if that happens. I think that's really Green Bay's only option if they're not going to fire their GM. Why he wants the GM fired, I don't know. I feel like he thinks that he hasn't had a very talented team around him other than a few select players like Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. Obviously, those guys are crazy talents on offense, but I think his defense has let him down, and he's had to carry the load for Green Bay for quite a while. So I think he's just kind of getting tired of it. I mean, he only has one championship to show for it, so I kind of don't blame him, but at the same time, I know I would feel bad at getting someone fired from their job. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, if they don't want to fire him, then they can trade him, or they can keep him, I guess. But he may retire and then just sign with the Broncos, and then you'll be kind of screwed there. So it's a weird scenario, but he has kind of told them that he's been unhappy for a few years now. I feel like every year there's something that comes out that he says he's not happy about. Well, I guess it's not him saying it per se, but there's places reporting that he is saying it. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, it is only May. Something could happen any day now. It could be not until July or August. We don't know. We also have the Lions center Frank Ragnow agrees to a 4-year extension, making him the highest paid center in the NFL. Cool news there. Good for him getting that money. We have baseball news now. The power rankings it's not really a whole lot. Power rankings for the start of May. We have the Dodgers in first, the Red Sox in second, Padres in third, White Sox in fourth, Astros in fifth. I like this list, mainly for the fact that the Dodgers and Red Sox are number 1 and number 2. Those are my two favorite teams, which I still would agree with where they are, even if they weren't my favorite teams, because the Red Sox may not deserve to be second in terms of I don't want to say deserve. Deserve is the wrong word, but their talent doesn't say that they should be second in the power rankings, but the way they've been playing amazing. This whole season, honestly, they've been playing great. I mean, they just had a game with the Tigers. They scored 21 runs combined, like the Red Sox and the Tigers. The Red Sox ended up winning. I think it was 12-9. And neither team had a home run. That's crazy. I think that's the first time that's happened in MLB. But that's crazy, and they're playing great. So I think they do deserve to be number 2, but talent-wise, they probably don't. A lot of people probably shouldn't or think they shouldn't be there. I guess is what I'm trying to get at. The Padres sitting at 3rd. I agree with that. Now the White Sox are at 4. I don't know. I think this list came out. This was who came up with this list? I think this was Bleacher Report actually. Or it might have been MLB.com. But they had the White Sox at 4. I don't know if this was before Luis Robert got hurt or after. If this was before, I can agree with it. But if this was after, that's kind of a big hit. I mean, they already lost another player for the season. They're going to lose him probably for the season. I don't know that for sure, but I know he has I think it was a hip flexor tear, I think is what it was, for Luis Robert, and it's not looking good. I think they said he's going to be out at least 12 to 16 weeks, which is a long-ass time. And that's just to resume baseball activities. That's not even to come back and play. That's just like hitting from a tee. That's like that kind of stuff. So who knows how long it's going to take for him to actually come back and start playing. I mean, if they make the playoffs, he may be able to come back for the playoffs, but maybe. That's going to be rough. So them at 4 is a little shaky to me. The Astros at 5. I guess I'd agree with. It's kind of weird. I don't know if not there, I would say either 4. They should be at either 4 or 6. I feel like the Mets should be high up there, and maybe they're like 6th on their list. They only came out with the top 5 for right now, but I feel like the Mets have been playing pretty well. I mean, you got Jacob deGrom. You ain't gonna be bad. But all in all, I think this was a pretty good top 5 power rankings for the start of May. Like I said, the White Sox are a little shaky at 4. The Astros, I think, is good at 5. I could see them being 4 or 6 and 5. I could see them anywhere right there. So that's pretty good with me. I don't know who would take over 4 though if they're White Sox, or take over for that just 5th team. I think I had mentioned the Mets. I don't really know another team that would take over that top 5 spot. So it's a pretty good list. And then the last piece of news we had from MLB was the Angels. They released Albert Pujols. Kind of a strange move, I guess. Just because I know his batting has been terrible this year. He's batting like a 198, which is bad. But he's also pretty old. I don't know what you really expected to get from him. I mean, you expect power numbers, obviously, but when you get older, I mean, shit happens, man. A lot of people predict him to sign with the Cardinals for either the rest of the year or just like a short contract. I don't know if they don't. I don't think they do 10-day contracts in baseball, but a short contract with the Cardinals and just retire a Cardinal. I know a lot of people would enjoy that. They would love that, especially obviously Cardinal fans. They already said they want him back, like the Cardinal fans, not the Cardinals. But he just finished. I mean, when the Angels released him, he was on the last year of his 10-year, like $256 million deal, I think it was. So he's been with the Angels for a while. I mean, it's been Cardinals Angels for him. So but it was interesting to see him released. I don't know. I could see benching him, but I mean, why not? I don't know. I don't really know contract issues and stuff like that with baseball. With really any sport, contracts get pretty complicated. I don't know if they release him if they still have to pay his salary, or if a team picks him up they have to finish his salary, or how that works. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes or what he does. He may just retire. I mean, who knows? But it's definitely weird because he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer, I would think. And just to see him get released like that is a little weird. You don't usually see Hall of Famers get released by teams. So I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying here. NHL. So we have. I mean, I'm going to say this just because they're my favorite team. The Boston Bruins are heading to the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs again. They clinched a playoff berth, so that's cool. I don't really know what seed they've been in, or they're in, or they will be in. I don't even know how many games they have left, because honestly, I haven't really kept track of NHL that much. I love hockey. I love watching it. It's a really fun sport to watch. And I like the camaraderie that comes with hockey, but I don't know. I haven't been into hockey this year, but definitely when the playoffs start, I will be watching probably every game. I love playoff hockey. It's awesome. And speaking of that, the drama that I was talking about with the NHL refers to Tom Wilson, and a lot of hockey fans that may be watching this podcast probably know who that is. But I believe he's a defenseman for the Washington Capitals. I almost said Nationals. Capitals team. And he's had a history of doing some dirty plays, injuring players. I don't think he says they're on purpose, but I mean, you can kind of tell they're on purpose. Just cheap shots, kind of stuff like that. He has a history of doing that stuff. And what was it? What's today? Friday. I think it was Wednesday night. They had a game against the Rangers. There was an incident where a guy was on the ground, and he kind of sucker punched him while he was on the ground, so obviously not cool. But then a scuffle broke out, and he actually like body slammed a player onto the ice. NHL looked at it and deemed it nothing crazy, and they pretty much only fined him. A lot of people thought he was going to get suspended because he is a repeat offender, but they only fined him, and that was for the body slam. They didn't even mention the sucker punch that he threw. So then, the next game, literally the day after, he's, I don't know if he's on the ice to start the game, but same two teams. As soon as the puck drops, boom, three separate pairs of players get into a fight, which one is kind of cool. I like that. But at the same time, I mean, I kind of expected. I knew it was going to happen. But I don't know, man. If I'm a Capitals player, I can't really support that teammate. I know that's what you're supposed to do, and that's kind of what I'm saying with the camaraderie of hockey. If someone does something to your player, you kind of retaliate. Kind of that stuff. I think is I don't want to say cool, but like, trying to think of the right words to call it. I just like how you can do that in that sport. Like, you can't really do anything in basketball. I mean, you can like get into like a scuffle or something with someone, but like, chances are you'll get ejected. And obviously, I don't mean do anything like crazy, but like, you can start a fight with someone in hockey. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's cool. I like the camaraderie to that. You kind of give payback to someone who does that to one of your teammates. But if I'm a Capitals player, how can you defend what this guy has done? Pretty much his whole, well, no, I don't want to say his whole career, but it's at least been the last few years where he's done stuff like this. I mean, he injured a Boston Bruin, I think, last year. He got suspended for that, but not for this. I mean, I don't know if it was the guy he body slammed or the guy he punched. One of the guys got injured from Wednesday night. Like, and you only fined him, and it was like $50,000, I think it was. And then like after that next game where they got into the fight as soon as the puck dropped, the NHL fined the Rangers players or team $150,000, I think it was. Like, what? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, and again, I'm not big into the NHL, but like, that doesn't make sense to me. You're literally having a player that's injuring other players on purpose and has a history of it, and you only fine him. And then because the other team retaliated the next night where no one got injured, and honestly, the Rangers guys kind of got their ass kicked. You fine the Rangers $150,000 for doing that? Oh my god. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with the 3 fights because it was just kind of random. It was like random players. I would have liked to have seen them go after Tom Wilson a little bit because he was there. He didn't get suspended or anything. And I don't mean injure him, but like have someone start a fight with him or just, check him a little harder into the boards or anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just a weird situation in the almost said the NFL, the NHL. But we'll see what else comes. And I know that the Rangers fired their GM, I believe, then like almost right after that game or the next day, because of that the fights that broke out the next night. They didn't really like that. They also didn't like the statement that the team released on Twitter, I believe, about the director of player safety who does like the fines and stuff. They said that he should be fired and stuff like that. I mean, I don't go that far, but it definitely is an interesting situation and weird how they handled it. So that was the NHL drama I wanted to get into and see what you guys thought about that. Now we go to the NBA, where we have a couple things there to talk about. Jason Tatum dropped 60 points in a 32-point comeback game for the Celtics. I forget who they were playing that night, but his 60 points was his career high, and he joins Larry Bird as the only Celtics to score 60 points in a game. Crazy stat from Jason Tatum, and he is a beast. And then we have 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 20 assists for Luka Doncic on May 2nd, I believe. He joins Magic Johnson, Russell Westbrook, and Oscar Robertson as the only players with a 30-point, 20-assist triple-double. Crazy game for Doncic. He's been on fire lately. He did just get ejected from a game last night, though. Was it last night? Or no, I think it was 2 nights ago. He really didn't do anything, though, in my opinion. But, I mean, whatever. It's the ref's discretion that he can eject someone. So that's kind of cool. And then speaking of Russell Westbrook, he set new career highs for rebounds in a game and assists in a game, which he actually tied as assists in a game. So you got another triple-double. No surprise there. With 21 rebounds, crazy. 24 assists, crazy. And 14 points. Not so crazy, but pair it with 24 assists and 21 rebounds and tell me that's not crazy. And I believe he only needs one more to tie the record for most in a career, most triple doubles in a career. Which is insane because he still has quite a few years left ahead of him. Then we have Knicks have officially clinched their first winning season since 2013, so good for the Knicks. And some bad news for the Kings. Tyrese Halliburton will miss the rest of the season with a knee injury. No structural damage or anything. I think just kind of a precautionary thing, I think, with them. I mean, he injured it, but like not seriously injured it, but I think it's like a precautionary thing. And now we get into like the bulk of our news, which is entertainment / Marvel stuff. I'm going to start with the entertainment, just news in general. We have Finn Wittrock will play Guy Gardner in HBO Max's Green Lantern series. The series the series says it's a story spanning decades and galaxies beginning on Earth in 1941 with the very first Green Lantern, secretly gay FBI agent Alan Scott, and 1984 with cocky alpha male Guy Gardner and half-alien breed Jarda. Sounds kind of interesting. We'll see how they portray that in the show. I don't think they have any plans yet for a Green Lantern like movie debut type thing. But that's the HBO Max show, Green Lantern. And we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier writer Malcolm Spellman wanted Spider-Man to be in the finale, but Kevin Feige said no. Their head writer also has indicated that a Chris Evans cameo was discussed during the show's development, which is interesting. So he is somehow alive. I think that's kind of, I don't know. I think he is alive, obviously. Obviously, this whole not Chris Evans, but Steve Rogers kind of theories have gotten kind of crazy, and they're kind of out there. We'll see. I mean, he's supposed to come back as Steve Rogers at some point. I don't know what kind of Steve Rogers he's coming back as or what's going on with that character, but it'll be interesting to see how they bring him back in. And then we have, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, just a forewarning on that. He's done a lot of Marvel stuff, so I apologize. I really like his stuff that he's made. Taika Waititi, I hope that's pretty close, is set to play Blackbeard the pirate in a new HBO Max series called Our Flag Means Death. I believe it's supposed to be, I think he's directing it as well. I think it's supposed to be a like a comedy kind of. It's not like full on comedy, but it's like a comedy drama, I think. Obviously set with pirates, and he's supposed to be playing Blackbeard, which is kind of cool. And this next piece of news, it's kind of, I think a lot of people kind of know this already, but it's about Iron Man, the original movie. It says Robert Downey Jr. was paid less than $500,000 for his role in Iron Man, while the original roadie, Terrence Howard, was paid $3.5 million, which is crazy. I mean, I get it, but that's just crazy to think about, and how much money Downey Jr. has made off of Iron Man after that movie is just insane. So I guess he's probably okay with taking a pay cut for the first movie, which it's not even a pay cut. That's just like they're establishing pay, I guess. And then we have a script for DC's live-action Static Shock movie is currently being drafted by writer Randy McKinnon, according to producer Michael B. Jordan. The Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse sequel is reportedly including the 1990s Spider-Man cartoon. If so, it should also honor the Spectacular Spider-Man. So bring in some new Spider-Man characters. Kevin Feige says Doctor Strange was going to appear in WandaVision, but he was removed to keep focus on Wanda. The commercials would have shown Strange trying to communicate with her. I think that's kind of a cool aspect of it, but obviously it didn't happen. I would have liked to have seen that because I think Doctor Strange was going to be in it the whole time, and of course he was not. So I'm kind of glad. I mean, it's kind of cool to see because I was kind of right, he was supposed to, but then they didn't. So it's kind of cool to see. I was kind of thinking along the same lines. I'm sure a lot of people were too, but whatever. And then we have the next Superman film will feature a black actor as Superman, so that'll be kind of cool to incorporate. I wonder who they're gonna have play him. For some reason, the only person I can think of is Michael B. Jordan. I don't know why. I mean, I know a lot of people have wanted him to play Superman for a long time. Well, maybe not for a long time, but for a few years, I think it's been speculated that he should play Superman. Maybe that's why he's the first one that comes to mind when I think of that. But I think he kind of fits it perfectly. I mean, I don't see why not. Him or, I mean, maybe The Rock, but I don't know. It's just I think he would fit it better. Not that The Rock wouldn't fit it, but I think Michael B. Jordan would be perfect for that. And then we have two trailers to talk about. Quiet Place 2, final trailer came out the other day. Looks good. Looks really good. All the reviews for it that popped up, obviously, during the trailer looked really good. It looks kind of like an origin story, kind of, mixed in with, what's going on now, after the first movie. Because we do see John Krasinski back in it, but we see kind of him before any of the shit went down, so it would be kind of cool to see how those creatures came to be. From what I can tell in the trailer, it looks like some sort of bomb goes off, and I don't know if that creates the creatures or what. And it actually looks like Emily Blunt's character and her children, or their children, I should say, they end up finding more people that are surviving. So I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like the Walking Dead type stuff when they would find like other people that are like living with, not I don't want to say living with the zombies, but like they create like a community. That's kind of what it looked like from the trailer. I could be way off base on that, but they definitely find new people because there's new characters. But all in all, it looks really good. I probably, when it does come out in theaters, I probably won't watch it in theaters. I'll probably wait to watch it after, or like when it streams. If it's streaming, I don't know. I don't really know what their plan is. I haven't really heard. I'm pretty sure it's coming out in theaters. Like I'm like 95% sure it's coming out in theaters no matter what. Just don't know if they plan to stream it at all. But it looks good either way. Stranger Things season 4 trailer looks, well, it was a teaser trailer, but looks good. It looks like we're gonna get more of like an origin story for 11. Probably sprinkled in just a couple episodes, like, or maybe just like every episode they'll sprinkle in just like a little bit to try and get some more backstory. It looks like she has a lot of, I don't want to say siblings, but there's a lot of other children there. That was like where she was staying at, and like it zooms in on her door and then shows her like opening her eyes when she said it, when her papa says I think he says like, "Can you hear me?" or 11, are you there? Like something like that. As soon as you hear the word 11, she like opens her eyes. But there was a lot of other children there with different numbers, so maybe we're gonna find out she has more siblings or whatever they are to her throughout the next season. Can't wait for that to come out. That looks good as well. And then more news we have is the Joker sequel is in development. The Olympics will be streamed on Twitch to try and reach a younger audience. I'm going to be honest with you. I usually don't watch the Olympics. The only thing that I watch that's more like the Olympics is the World Cup. But I don't really watch the Olympics that much. Maybe I'll watch like basketball whenever that. I think that's Winter Olympics. I usually try and watch basketball. I think that's usually like the only sport that I'll watch. Because that's really the only sport I really like follow. So I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to watch like Olympic sports. We have an iCarly revival release in June for all you. Was that on Nickelodeon? I never watched that, so I don't know. And Paramount Plus will release one new original film per week on average in 2022. So kind of cool there. And now we get into our MCU stuff. So they had I don't know what to call it. It's kind of like it was like a long trailer, but it was for multiple things. So like, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw it, but it kind of went through everything that they did. Stan Lee's talking, and then like up until Endgame, not to spoil Endgame, but kind of does that. It goes all the way up to Endgame, and then trying to remember from it exactly, but then it goes into like you see a trailer from the Eternals, which by the way looks really good. It was like a teaser trailer, but it looks amazing. But then you get all of the new titles that are coming out that they're working on. So we got the title of Black Panther 2. We got the title change, I believe, for Captain Marvel 2. And the release dates for a couple other movies. So Black Panther 2 will be called Black Panther Wakanda Forever. It's supposed to release July 8th of 2022. And Captain Marvel 2 got changed to The Marvels. And that'll release November 11th, 2022. It'll have Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau in it. So definitely a Marvels, the Marvels movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania will release February 17th, 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be May 5th, 2023. And that also could be Drax's last movie, according to the actor Dave Bautista. He said he doesn't know that yet, obviously, but he is feeling like it's going to be his last movie. And Blade will look to start filming in July of 2022. I think it was supposed to start like this fall of filming, but the pandemic kind of changed all that. And then we have Andrew Garfield originally denied being in Spider-Man No Way Home, but quickly then changed his answer to never say never. So kind of interesting there. I don't know if Marvel kind of got to him a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. And Loki moves up its premiere to June 9th and will release on Wednesdays instead of Fridays. So that's kind of cool. We get it 2 days early, and it comes out on Wednesdays instead of Fridays now. So that's kind of cool. And that's pretty much everything for entertainment and all that stuff. We do have some Call of Duty news right here, and I'll get into that right now. So Dallas Empire, they dropped Hook, I think, 3 weeks ago, I think. He actually joins LA Thieves, and they benched TJ Haley. And then we have Decimate joins Seattle, and they benched Looney. And they announced also that LAN will be back in June for Stage 4. Dallas will host the first LAN, and then I think after that it'll be Optic. But either way, the LANs will be in Arlington Esports Stadium. No fans will be allowed, only players and personnel, so like event staff or coaches, or I mean maybe owners. I would think owners, because most of them again are all in Texas, so already, except for maybe like, I mean, I know LA Thieves players are, but their owner isn't. But he could probably fly in. I mean, I don't know. But as far as I know, it's players and personnel only. But it would be cool to get them back on LAN. I know a lot of players have been complaining about that. And I don't blame them. I mean, it definitely is a different environment. Not that I know. But like, you can kind of, I mean, I know I'd be shitting myself if I was on main stage on a LAN. I would be, I mean, I freak out when I play like round 11 S&Ds here at my house. So, I mean, and that's not even for anything. So I can only imagine, now granted, these players are used to playing with pressure on them, but, and there's not going to be fans, so maybe it'll be a little bit different, but it's still, I mean, it's a lot of pressure when you can see the opposing players across from you, and you're all playing on the same stuff, same connection, same everything. I mean, it's going to be a different beast. I think once fans do come back, we're going to see some players as true colors, and someone might not be playing as well. But fans probably won't come back until maybe champs, if not next year. So we will have some time before we see that. So I think that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I should be back next week. It'll probably be a little bit later in the day because I am starting a new job next week. So it'll probably be out in the evening, Eastern time, next Friday when it releases. This one obviously is going live probably in like an hour or two, so probably by like noon. It'll be like when you guys get this. But if you guys enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe down below. And always feel free to leave a comment on anything that goes on, news related, or anything that you guys want to talk about. I will be happy to respond, and maybe get a conversation going on YouTube. I mean, you never know. So yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. I will see you guys next week. See ya.